Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about why Google's Deepmind is an incredible, amazing company doing research for artificial intelligence. Now, the goal of Deepmind is essentially to solve intelligence using learning algorithms and systems neuroscience to put it together. All kinds of interesting techniques of machine learning, and also taking inspiration from how the brain works to create algorithms that can actually do useful things in the world. And in the recent years, they have done some incredible breakthroughs. The first one that they announced what they were able to do with the systems was 2013, when they created a program that just learned how to play all of the Atari games from the simple basic Atari system. It was all these two-dimensional games, and all that these systems got were the raw pixels on the screen, and the only objective was to increase the score. They were given no instructions as to how to move around or what to do or what their objectives are, only the raw data from the pixels on the screen, and just to increase the score. And little by little, by playing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of games, they learned how to play, and in fact how to play better than human players. And in some cases they figured out mechanisms and ways how to play the games better than actually human players could. And not because computers are faster or anything like that, but actually because they figured out techniques in the games of actually play the game better. So in 2015 they created the AlphaGo system, and this was a system where it started by being an expert system. An expert system is a AI system where experts actually put some knowledge in. So in this case it was the AlphaGo system playing the game Go, which is much more complex than chess or any other game. Really popular in Asia, looks quite like a simple game, but it's actually quite complex. And in fact the game Go has more moves than there are particles in the known universe. So there are more possibility combinations of moves in the game of Go than there are atoms in the entire universe, which is quite mind-boggling. So they gave it some kind of idea of what's a good thing to do, and then the machine kept playing, and it kept playing against an identical copy of itself, and whatever copy won, they kept that copy and kept it playing with itself until it won and won and won and won and won, and they did it until eventually they had something really good. Now, it was interesting when they started putting this up against actual human players, and the first human game, the human opponent first said that, yeah, I see the system, but I'm not worried, I'm quite confident in my abilities. The second game, the human said, well, this was a bit more difficult, I could see that the system is learning. And by the final last game, the human told that I felt kind of helpless. The machine just knew exactly what to do ahead of time. It thought many moves ahead of me, thought outside the box in many more creative ways, and absolutely demolished and devastated the human being. And by 2017, AlphaGo had beaten the best human players of Go on the planet. So never again will a human being be better at playing Go than a machine. So this is incredible breakthrough, and the interesting thing about this is that this breakthrough happened, all the experts thought that to break the game of Go, to crack the game of Go, to make an AI system that could play Go better than a human being, everybody thought it would take at least 20 or 15 years. And yet it happened way earlier than anyone suspected. So this is an incredible leap. What happened next is even crazier. They created a system called AlphaGo Zero, and this Zero didn't have any expert knowledge given to it. It played from scratch, from zero, from nothing. The only instructions given to it were increase the score. And it did the same self-play method. It played with itself until it got better and better and better. They kept the better ones, let it play with itself, then kept the better ones over and over and over again, until it was able to beat the original AlphaGo system, and it was just orders of magnitudes better by playing chess games against itself. And I will try to find the graph, but it was incredible how they tuned and tweaked the system a little bit before they needed to put some expert knowledge into it, But now it's better than any human player without given any knowledge. And this is a game that humans have played arguably for hundreds and thousands of years. And this new system figured out moves and waves and methods, techniques that human beings didn't even know. So people are now learning from this AlphaGo Zero system new moves of how to play Go. So that is quite mind-blowing. And also this AlphaGo Zero system plays chess and checkers and everything else as well. All the traditional board games that people think is smart and requires intelligence. So funny fact, when we first haven't yet built a machine that could play chess, everybody thought that in order for a machine to play chess, it needs to think a little like a human. But then once we created a machine that could play chess, everybody was just like, oh, this is pure computation, there is nothing special about it. And then we kept getting better and better at different kind of games and things, and it was always the mindset, this next thing, the computer really must be self-aware and intelligent to be able to do it. But no, once we get there, everyone's like, nah, it's just a computer. And same thing happened with Go. We're just like, nah, it's really clever system, but it's just calculations. But it does make you wonder, when these advancements keep going and keep going, will there be a point where we will be like, this thing is so intelligent that there has to be something more going on there? And what does that even mean? Now, the most recent breakthrough was in 2019 when Deepmind released AlphaStar, and this is a system that can play Starcraft. This is a competitive strategy game where you have unknown knowledge. So before, in the game of Go, you knew all the pieces and the pieces of the opponents. You could predict everything, you have solid rules, exactly what to do. But in this game, Starcraft, there is so many variables and unknowns, things that you don't know. You don't see the enemy while you're building your own base and gathering resources and things like that. And now this system is better than most of the experts, and it won't be long until AlphaStar beats the best human players in Starcraft as well. And this really is important, because this is getting into the realm of actually real world territory, because there are unknown situations. You don't know what the enemy is doing. There are different kind of strategies to use. There are many different units that you have to manage at the same time. You really need to sort of have an understanding of what the game really means. And the closer we get to more realistic games, looking back at Atari games that were just two-dimensional things, quite simple, now you have a 3D environment playing Starcraft. If we get further than that, then we could have an actual real-life environment. We could imagine something like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you're actually a 3D agent running around in the world and doing things. And that is not that dissimilar from actual real life. So I at least see a clear path from the beginnings of Deepmind, building these algorithms into something that could grow up to be an effective agent in the world, to doing things. And to me, that is fascinating and mind-blowing. And also that it took so little bit of time. In just less than a decade, they were able to go from simple two-dimensional games into something that's highly complex, and you have many hidden variables and unknown information in the game. So that is fascinating. Also, what they did, what I forgot to mention, is they played Dota. So this is a game similar to League of Legends, that you also have unknown information. You walk around in 3D environments, and you have to actually manage a team. A team has to collaborate, and it's not like the normal AI system that, you know, the AI knows everything about everyone. The AI's team members couldn't like get the information from each other. They could only see the other ones. So they needed to communicate the same way as human beings. They can't see inside the heads of one another. So the AI system needed to learn how they should act like a group together to defeat humans, how to communicate with each other, and what kind of strategies, mechanism to do to defeat humans. So this is incredibly amazing, and like I said, the pace of progress here is just fascinating, how quickly it has gone. And I wonder how long it will take until these DeepMind systems can play a fully 3D game of actually running around on the world. And if you put this kind of algorithm into a realistic humanoid robot, and then it can function in the world. This is where we're going, no doubt about it, and it's mind-blowing to me how quickly this technology is advancing. So I just wanted to give a timeline in less than a decade what breakthroughs have been made, and experts thought that it would be decades more until we achieved this. So that I think is incredible and what I wanted to share with you. So I hope you got some interesting thoughts from this, some insight into the development of AI. I think Deepmind is one of the leading figures in this, and they're doing incredible work and fascinating. If you look at the actual games, if you search for Starcraft, AlphaStar, or the Dota Deepmind playing or something like that, and you see these algorithms playing against human beings and winning, it's fascinating and strange. And the reactions of professional players looking that this thing is weird, alien, and it looks like it's thinking, which is so bizarre and amazing that we're getting so far. It's not just chess anymore, simple computing. It's much more complex than that, and much more similar to something that we as human beings do. And I think that is fascinating. So again, hope you got some thoughts from this. If you have any ideas, please share them in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and take care.